I'm Scott L. Miller. It's the 23rd of August, 2022, and welcome to my vlog of daily life in Leon, Nicaragua. I'm trying a different camera angle today, a little bit higher, just because we gotta shake things up, and I didn't have a lot of time to run out on the road today. I did actually go out and film this morning. I'm actually filming this on Thursday, as I often have to film in the future. This week has been very busy. I'm actually turning out across my channels something like 4 videos per day. So I'm really busy this week with video stuff, which is fantastic, but it means all of my cameras, all of my computers are kind of running at their limits, and it's just really busy trying to get everything done. So I'm trying to shake things up without having to put in a lot of time out on the streets. With this one today, I'll be in pretty good shape. I only have 1 day left to make up and doing well. Almost every channel has a backlog of things to be edited, so it's fantastic. I'm loving it a lot. Today is Tuesday, as I said, and our big thing today, other than normal work this morning, plus filming and editing, as I just said, early this afternoon, Dominica came into town so that we could go do our work at Migracion, which is immigration services. So that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today. First, before that, did have a busy morning of work, just normal, lots of editing. I had a couple meetings, so I was actually racing to do things. The way it works with Migracion, and I mentioned that because we were racing to get there before 2 o'clock, I mentioned last week, a week ago today, in fact, that we went to Migracion, Immigration Services, here in Leon, where we renew our visas so that we don't have to leave the country every 90 days. We can go up to 180 days because we renew here in Leon. Now, it is important to note, not everyone gets to renew in Leon, even if you live here in Leon. So it depends on whether you are consistently on time. If you're in your middle of your residency process, all those things, they can make it a lot more likely that you'll be able to do everything here in Leon and make life really, really easy. Those people who are not able to do that, you can go into Managua. And some people choose the Managua path anyway, because if you do it in Managua, it's obviously more of an effort. You go into the city, that's about an hour and a half. You have to go to the larger Migracion office, deal with them, and do all your paperwork there, and then come back. So it's a minimum of 3 hours travel time. If you live close enough in Leon to walk to Migracion, that 3 hours of extra travel is a big deal. But if you live farther out in Leon, like out on the beach or in one of the small satellite communities, then that trip into Managua may not be a big deal compared to coming into Leon. So it all depends where you live. We live really close. So for us, going into Leon makes a lot of sense if we can do it. The difference, though, when you go to Managua, you give them your passport, they run all the information, they record it, and they give you your passport back right on the spot. If you're here in Leon, they do all that paperwork, but the passport still has to go into Managua. So last week, when we did it, I believe it was last week, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, they sent it in, and it goes to Managua, and they deal with it there, and they keep it for a week, and then it comes back. We then went to pick up our passport last week. It was actually 2 weeks ago. We delayed it. We came back to get it, and the line was hours long to get our passport. And we're like, this is ridiculous. It is crazy hot on the day that we went to do that. And we're like, we just don't need our passports right now. They will hold them. We let them know that we were going to do that, and they're like, yeah, it's fine. And they didn't want to bother with us when they had lines out the door either. It was way down the sidewalk. Like it was I've never seen it that busy. So we went back today, and today was great. There was no line at all. Turns out it was because the computer system was down. So a lot of things they wanted to do, they couldn't. So people are like, oh, we'll come back at some point. So when we got in there, it was like, oh, they sent everyone away. And they're like, oh, you guys, we're just handing you some papers. Come right on up. So it took about 3 minutes, went in, did that, and we were just done. So easy. Boy, are we glad that we waited. That it could not have worked out better. So we got our passports back, but that's something you just have to be aware you have to do. You'll turn in your passport, you'll go a week without it, and you'll get it back a week later. Works like clockwork. It's very simple. You just may have to wait in lines, so you have to go twice. That's one of the reasons that people like going to Managua. If you're going to be traveling 30, 45 minutes to go to Leon, then doing that twice, yeah, you might as well go to Managua and not be without your passport. So whatever makes sense for you, but those options do exist. But again, not everyone is allowed to do the Leon renewal, so don't bank on it. But most of the time, if you're doing everything correctly, it's going to work out just fine. After that, we were thinking about going out to Desayunazo for some lunch, but we've been going there a lot recently, and I can make really good egg and cheese sandwiches at home, so I'm not sure why we would do that particularly. So instead, we looked at a couple different restaurants, and then Dominica's like, but I really want suwa. I'm like, I had suwa for dinner. but we went to Sua for lunch. We actually wanted to go to Barbaro and get salmon, but since it was so recently that they were out of the salmon, we decided not to risk it. What a pain. I mean, it took them 45 minutes last time to tell us they didn't have salmon, so we just went to Sua and got a really nice lunch, and then brought a little bit of food home for the kids as well. So we actually hung out until probably about 3 o'clock or so maybe a little bit later, 3:30. So we had a nice relaxing afternoon. After that, I came back. The kids have a lot of video game stuff going on this week. They have some events going on online. They play Genshin Impact. That is the big game that they're really into. They play a lot of things, but Genshin Impact is like a large multiplayer online game, and they're working to get Alan into it as well. And of course, I play it, but not a lot. But they had a new event or a new thing releasing today, and so they were putting in the evening doing that. And they're like, yeah, we don't want to hang out. Go do your own thing. So I came back over here to the office. My office is right there when I record this, and spent the evening working on video editing and uploads and backups and all that stuff, which really worked out perfectly because I have so much to do. And the evening is the only time I can do that because it's all I can do during the day to work and potentially get out here to do recordings. I can't really do any recordings unless it's daylight, so that is a big struggle for me to have time during the working day to get the videos done, because by about 5:15 it is too dark to make good videos. So I really have to do everything before that. And I say that it is currently coming up on 5, so we're pushing it right now. By 5:30, you guys will notice that it is too dark. Right now it's generally okay, but the sun is low. So you get different light throughout the day. That is our Tuesday. Coming up this week, we do have the volleyball tournament this weekend. Tomorrow, I did some research tonight. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a bit of work on DikuMUD. I'm just going to give a little teaser of that. DikuMUD is a video game that I played a version of when I was in university. Very long time ago, the early 1990s, and absolutely loved this game. And I've talked to the kids about it a lot over the years. And recently, Liesel's been very much like, oh, I'm really interested in that, and I want to know more about it. I really want to, experience that. Could we have that game? And so I did a bunch of research, and DikuMUD does have a new version. It is now open source. It's completely free. We can run our own server. So I really want to download that and get it set up and build a server that the kids can play on, and have our own, and then invite people. It's a multiplayer game. It's the precursor to the online multiplayer games like Genshin Impact that you have today, and it's all text-based. So it's kind of a mixture of traditional literature and books with modern video gaming. And the game, DikuMUD, has been updated continuously since, I believe, the late 1980s, at minimum, the very early 1990s. So the amount of time that has gone into this is pretty extensive. It doesn't have a large development team, but they keep updating it. And the latest version is pretty recent, and there's still work going on it regularly, like within the last week or so, which is really neat for a video game like that. And I have not, to the best of my knowledge, played one at all in 15 to 18 years, and I've not had one that I would say was my real system that I was playing one of these games on for about 25 years. It was somewhere in the 1997 to 1998 range, when Andy and Josh and I were living at Greenleaf Meadows in Greece, New York. At that point, we had a series of, ready for this, 486 PC computers that were running Caldera Linux 1.3, and on those I installed one of the early versions of CircleMUD, which is a derivative of DikuMUD, and we ran that as a server and used the others as gaming terminals, and we did manage to put it online, but that was on a dial-up connection. But we had a persistent dial-up connection even from our house back then, and so we had about 3 players in the house, and you could, in theory, dial in from the outside. And we ran this really tiny game that we could play ourselves, but now we have one that can support tens of thousands of players if people are interested, and I'm gonna try to get that set up tomorrow. So that's gonna be an interesting little project to do. And I have an ulterior motive for it, I believe, because creative writing is something that's a bit difficult to get the kids into. And I remember being that age, like, I like the idea of writing a book, but I was certainly not into school creative writing. And we're not too concerned about whether or not they do school projects for creative writing, but we want to make sure that they are doing creative writing. I'm hoping with DikuMUD, because it is a text-based game and everything you do for it is writing, but because it's a video game and it is in the genre of things that both of them are interested in the future for a career, that this game may turn into a way to do creative writing and combine it with video game development. Now, of course, you can do any video game and classify things as creative writing, but there's a difference with traditional video games, or more modern video games, I should say, where when you're writing, you're kind of describing a story, but with a MUD that is all text-based, you're literally writing small chapters from a book or little paragraphs or whatever, and it is traditional writing that is then just displayed in the game format. I'm going to take the church bells as a signal that it is time to wrap up the video for the day. Thanks for joining me. Please remember to like and subscribe. Tell your friends about the show. We've had a lot of big episodes that have been talking about investing and moving and immigration and all kinds of things. Today's a bit lighter. Try to mix it up and have different things. And I'm seriously, I do so many of these videos. Not every day can be a giant slam dunk. And today was mostly relaxing, but things are going pretty well. And I'm looking forward to having another exciting adventure for you guys tomorrow, and more information about the wonderful country of Nicaragua. And hopefully coming up in just over a week, heading up to the mountains to get stuff in Matagalpa for you. And I should mention, mostly for my dad, who will be hanging out to the very end, Luciana has started taking programming classes now. Liesel has done them in the past, and Luciana was taking AP Ecology up until now, and she's switching that out for programming. So I don't know, I think she's going to be doing JavaScript, and she should be starting in the next couple days, but she's really looking forward to that because she has decided, she says, that while she really likes the idea of being a baker and an artist, she understands that she will probably find her career making video games with her sister, as we hope to own a studio together, so she might as well learn programming so she can help write video games at the video game creation level. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you all tomorrow.